moving on, we bring us down to the resolution for the digital advanced meter infrastructure installation. And we made some changes to the original draft. Commissioner Schneider, would you like to
Sure.
pretty much read these changes, or do you want to move this most, do you want to move this, or what do you want
I'll
to do?
just give you a brief explanation and background behind it, and I think probably still have to move it. I mean, I'd be fine with that if anybody's not comfortable with it, if they just had a chance to see it now. I did try to send it off to everybody. And this, so even though I didn't bring this issue before us, I think we've all been trying to study this as much as we can ever since Brock came and brought this for us. And you weren't kidding when you said you could do as much research as you want on this. It's like a never-ending branch. The more you research and the more you study, the more information that's out there. But so this was the resolution that Commissioner Clark originally showed us. That was kind of like a boilerplate resolution. And after I did some review on it, there were just a few things that I felt if I was going to pass a resolution, I would want in there. And so I made the additions in red so it was easier for you to see. You'll notice there's very few things that are struck out. Might be just a wording change, but it's just mostly additional stuff. Brock told us you can go on DTE's site and you can get plenty of information, and then you can just Google and you can kind of continue to go from there. And then I also, like I said I would, contacted my economic development partner over at DTE and asked for who is the new representative for Lapeer County, because we discussed that last meeting, that we heard there was a new representative for our region. It was a different name than the ones that were thrown out at last meeting. So it's we have a new title that they give them is Regional Manager in Corporate and Government Affairs, Carla Griggs. So I put a phone call in to Carla and spoke with her at length about this, and my position after speaking with her, and she's pretty knowledgeable on the program from DTE's perspective, and if at any point in time the board needs to speak with her more, she will make herself available. But my position after speaking with DTE really hasn't changed, which is the fact that I personally don't have a concern for an issue, but that's me personally. And I don't think that that's necessarily fair to impose it upon other residents, especially when they have a deep-seated concern. So I researched the bill. I have a copy of that if you guys want that. By the way, you didn't get a chance to print it out and research it. I'm sure the state legislature has a lot of dialogue and a lot of discussion to do on that. We are not the Public Service Commission, and we are not the state legislature that's debating this particular bill. So, you know, when I hear comments like, you know, you would like to see this body stop this process, you know, and protect you, we wish we could. That authority doesn't reside with us, just like it doesn't reside with your local governments, your cities, your townships, or your villages. But we do have a voice. And even if the resolution ends up not being passed by the body, at the end of the day, the resolution really becomes one more piece of paper. What's more important that we have found over the years up here is the relationships that we have with our counterparts in those other entities that do have a say. Now, I'm not sure if any of us know the couple people that are on the Public Service Commission. I don't. But we do have a good working relationship with our senator who represents this area, and with our new state rep who represents this area. And we will certainly be having conversations with those individuals about this House bill and the options that it provides to the residents here who have concerns. If we do choose to pass the resolution, the additions that I've made was so it's a little bit longer, but I felt it was important to just acknowledge both points of view. There are concerns with smart meter deployment by utility companies. There are also advantages to smart meters as well. And so I added a small paragraph on the fact that DTE and other utility companies desire these upgrades as a means of providing energy more efficiently. And then I added a paragraph on the Michigan Public Service Commission is the state agency that's responsible for regulating services provided by investor-owned natural gas, electric, and telephone utilities and rural elective cooperatives in Michigan. It comes right from their responsibilities, by the way. And has issued several orders and documents regarding advanced metering, authorizing their use while enumerating their benefits and minimizing their risks. However, and so that's the introduction part of the resolution that I felt was important, was to start off with that side. However, it's important that several residents have expressed concerns to the governing and administrative bodies of this county regarding these meters. There have been concerns expressed by some residential electric customers that smart meters are overly intrusive into their real-time and historical energy use, and further questions the security and usage of this information. That seems to be one of the big issues that I felt, that I saw in my research was one of the objections to the utility companies moving forward with this technology, and so I felt that was important to have a paragraph in there. Then the other paragraph, some residential electric customers have concerns that emissions from smart meters may actually be dangerous to their health, with contradictory opinions from various health professionals and research studies. For me, that's important that that be in the resolution, because in my research and in talking with my constituents, and I think you saw a sampling of it here today, that's probably the single biggest objection by our residents that are opposed to these things. And again, we could sit here and say whether or not those are legitimate concerns or not. The medical community is doing the same thing. There's contradictory information out there for every study that says there's not an issue, the levels are acceptable. I get concerned when I see credentialed individuals and credentialed studies questioning whether or not that in fact is true. So it may not be our place to stop this, we may not have that authority, but I think we should be able to use, I think one of our responsibilities as elected representatives is to amplify the voice and move that forward. So that kind of sets the background for the resolution. It says Michigan House Bill 4916 is written to address the above-mentioned concerns regarding smart meters and has been forwarded to the Committee on Energy Policy. And then whereas the Lapeer County Board of Commissioners recognizes the advantages of utility smart meter deployment while also remaining sensitive to our residents' concerns, and thusly supports the ability of its DTE customers to opt out of the smart meter program on their homes without suffering financial penalties or encouraging monthly charges. And I'll get to that in just a second, which is addressed in the next paragraph. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lapeer County Board of Commissioners supports the concepts of House Bill 4916 and encourages a procedure established for monthly self-reporting of non-transmitting meters without penalty when requested by concerned citizens until more health research is conclusively presented and security of data is ensured, allowing most of the advantages of smart meter grid throughout its installations made throughout a majority of the grid where no such objections exist. And this goes to my conversations that I had last week and that I had with DTE. I said, it seems to me, when you speak to DTE or any of the utility companies, they will enumerate to you a lot of advantages to them as a large utility provider to try and enhance the grid and the efficiency of the grid. They will also enumerate a lot of the advantages to the individual property owner that receives their electricity when they have smart meters. Everything from being able to have more information real time, make yourself more energy efficient. They're even going to have an app on your phone where you'll be able to actually swipe your cell phone across any cord, any line, and it'll tell you how much electricity is being used. But when I ask the question, what if, because it seems like the argument is either or, either we impose it on everybody or else we have all these detriments if we don't. Well, it seems to me there has to be a middle ground. I said, what if 5% of the public, what if 10% of the public has objections to this and wants to be able to opt out? It seems to me that you don't lose any of the efficiencies that you've mentioned to me as a utility provider, other than you won't know real time when there's a power outage at that specific property. But for example, my subdivision's got 40 homes in it, and 10% of the people have concerns, and there's an opt-out for it. And so 4 of them don't participate, and the rest of the residents do. You're going to know when there's a power outage that's beyond a property. You're going to know when there's a power outage in that particular subdivision. So what is really the problem with allowing an opt-out? Well, there's a cost, and why should the cost be borne to the rest of the public? I said, what if in the House bill and in the legislative process, what if a procedure is created for self-reporting? You've got the web technology, so somebody every month turns around and has to enter the information onto the web, or if they don't have a web, they fill it out on a form. Can't be that much more inefficient than when they used to read our meters anyway. Sooner or later it catches up with you. That's what I personally would like to see, is some type of program like that developed. The answer was, but they won't be able to get all of the benefits that the smart meter program offers them. I said, they sound like they're willing to trade off and not have those benefits in lieu of being able to have their safety concerns. So that's what our resolution is encouraging, and then it goes on to say, the Lapeer County Board of Commissioners calls on the Committee on Energy Policy and the Michigan Public Service Commission and the Attorney General, Bill Schuette, to undertake all regulatory procedures needed to investigate all the aforementioned concerns for health and welfare of our citizens, and then be it resolved in the distribution of this resolution. So for me, our resolution just notes both perspectives and encourages the opt-out under review in legislature, especially if it could be done in such a way that there's no cost to the utility. You can have a self-reporting. They'll still be able to get all of the benefits of the grid information real time, because I do believe the majority of the public is going to, well, the majority of our public is apathetic to begin with. Look at our voting record. So the vast majority, even if half the people right off the bat go, oh, I don't care about smart meters, they're not even going to research it. Then some won't have an issue with it, and some will have an issue with it. Those that have an issue with it, I think at this stage of the game, until the science is a little bit better, should at least have the opportunity to opt out. So that's the resolution I have before us.
Mr. Chairman, I would move the resolution that is presented with the correction under the last, be it further resolved, a period after Mike Knopf's, and take out the second, the Michigan Association of Counties. That's in there twice.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Yeah.
There's just one other, and first of all, I'd like to say I appreciate Commissioner Snyder's work on this. I think it does answer the questions that we all had and incorporates all of our thoughts in it. The only concern I really kind of have with it is under the second to last, be it further resolved. When we say that that the Lapeer County Board of Commissioners calls on a committee on energy policy, the Michigan Public Service Commission, to undertake all regulatory procedures needed to investigate all of the aforementioned concerns. I think that's proper. However, I don't think it's proper to also ask the Attorney General. When you're asking the Attorney General as a state law enforcement, you're implying at least that there has been some sort of illegal activities there. And in nowhere in our resolution have we implied anything. So I would think that it would be much better to move the Attorney General bill after the Michigan Public Service Commission put a take out and then take out Attorney General Bill Schuette. So it would say the Michigan Public Service Commission to undertake, and then move Attorney General Bill Schuette down to the people that we are notifying, or that we are CCing.
I don't have a problem with that. So we want to put it and under Committee on Energy Policy and the Michigan.
Yes.
Right. Well, that's Commissioner.
Well, I just wanted to say, I too appreciate Commissioner Schneider's work on this. And I like that you put in the self-reporting. I have a place up in the Thumb that I've been self-reporting for years up there, and it's not, sometimes you forget, it's not a big deal, you add it on to the next month, but, people are willing to do that. It's not an issue at all to do, so yeah, I appreciate what you've done.
Lynette, do you have all the changes?
I think so. I would
Do
agree.
you have a motion in support?
Yes, we do.
Would you
Thank
call the roll on it?
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Edie?
Yes.
Commissioner Jarvis? Yes. Commissioner Kemp?
Yes.
Commissioner Schneider?
Yes?
Chairman Kent?
Yes. Resolution is adopted. Thank you.
I would like to just thank everybody for coming and remind you that this is just going to support the House bill. Like they said, there's nothing that we can actually physically do. It's out of our control.